Let's take one more example to solve an inequality that has x in the denominator, okay? So here you want to solve this rational function less or equals to 1. As the last example, if you have anything on the right hand side, you subtract that and then bring that to the left, and then whatever you have in the left, you denote that by f of x, okay? So if you subtract the right hand side, meaning subtract 1 on both sides, you subtract 1 on both sides, so what do you get? So you're subtracting 1, so you get 2x minus 1 over x plus 3, and then minus 1 is less than 0, okay? So you assume the left, since the right hand side is 0, you assume everything on the left as f of x. So let f of x is 2x minus 1 divided by x plus 3 and then minus 1. That will be f of x, okay? If you are using graph, what you do is you enter y equals to 2x minus 1 over x plus 3 minus 1. Whenever you enter a fraction, you need to enclose the top and bottom by parentheses, okay? When you enter that thing in the calculator, okay, you enter this, you will get this graph. But we are interested that f of x is less than 0. Less than 0 means the graph is negative. Graph negative means where, for what values of x, the graph is below x-axis here, right? So what are the values of x where the graph is below x-axis? And obviously you can see that these are the values of x that the graph is below x-axis. So starting from negative 3, because it is negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So starting from negative 3, because on the left to the negative 3 you can see the graph is above x-axis, right? And 3 and right, at 3 the graph is not defined because there is a vertical asymptote there at 3. So right to the 3 and until it hits 4, the graph is below x-axis. At 4, the graph is on x-axis. Since we are interested only below x-axis, strictly less than 0, so we don't count 4, okay? Everything between negative 3 and 4. So the answer is between negative 3 and then 4. That's the answer, okay? This is the location where the function is negative or below x-axis. Let's do the same problem using algebra without using the graph. Suppose we don't know how does the graph look like. What you do, you bring everything to the left, set the right hand side 0, and whatever you have on the left, that will be f of x. Now you simplify this and get a single fraction. How do I simplify this? You write the common denominator, right? So write down x plus 3. It has 1 in the denominator. This is x plus 3. X plus 3 times 1 is just x plus 3. Next, what you do is do the cross multiplication type of thing here, right? So it will be 2x minus 1 times 1 is 2x minus 1, and then there is minus sign, and then write x plus 3 times 1. So what do you get? So you get 2x minus 1 minus, you distribute that negative sign, negative x, negative 3 divided by x plus 3. So what you got? Here is 2x minus x is x, and negative 1, negative 3 is negative 4 divided by x plus 3. That's what you got. F of x is finally you got x minus 4 over x plus 3. So this has both x in the numerator and denominator, okay? If you're solving an inequality that has x in top and bottom, first thing you do is if there is anything on the right hand side, bring that to the left and make the right hand side 0. If the right hand side is already given as 0, you don't have to bring anything, just start from there, okay? Now next is if there are two fractions or two different terms, combine them and get the single fraction like this. Once you get the single fraction, what you do is you solve the numerator separately and solve the denominator separately. So what do you get? If you solve the numerator, you get x minus 4 equals to 0, add 4, and then you get x equals to 4, and solve the denominator, x plus 3 equals to 0, subtract 3, and you got x equals to negative 3. Right? You got negative 3 and 4 for x. from top separately and bottom separately. Next, what you do, as before, you mark those numbers. Sometimes you may get quadratic function on the top, quadratic function on the bottom. You'll have to solve both and then mark the numbers here at -3 and then 4. So you got just two values here for x from the top and bottom separately, solving separately. Now what you do is you take a test point from this person, from this piece, and from that piece. Okay, take a test point, let's say -4. Let's take -4 and plug in that -4 into this value or that value, wherever you want. Let's plug it in here. Okay, if you plug in -4 for x, what do you get? You'll get -4 minus 4 will be -8 divided by -4 plus 3 will be -1 on the bottom and -8 on the top. So negative over negative will be positive. So it will be plus, 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 plus. Everything will be plus in that piece. Let's take another piece. Let's take 0 as a test point in this piece. So why do I take 0? Because yes, 0 is between -3 and 4. You can pick any point that lies between these two numbers as a test point. Okay, so as we did here, anything that is left to -3 will be a test point. Anything you can take there, but for easiness you take a smaller number or if possible 0. So if you plug in 0 for x, what do you get? 0 minus 4 is -4 and 0 plus 3 is +3. So -4 over 3, it is negative, right? You fill this piece by negative sign. And let's take a test point, say 5. What do you get? 5 minus 4 is +1. 5 plus 3 is +8. So this is positive, right? So this piece will be positive. Alright? After you got this plus and minus sign, now look at the question. In the question, you want to solve f of x less than 0, f of x negative. So you want to list for what are the values of x where the y is negative. That's certainly this piece, right? So you want just the negative, but you don't include that -3 because the function is not defined at -3. It has asymptotes, okay, at -3. And at 4 the function is 0. You can see that at 4 the function hits x-axis, but we want only the negative y values. You want to list the x values, that gives you negative y values only. So it will be like -3 to 4. That's the values of x, and we got the same answer. We must get the same answer actually. We got the same answer for both methods. Okay, all right guys, thank you very much.